Hey guys, this is Jason Modern Warfare. So I want to talk about a product that I recently just bought online, and it is the Kiorafoto, I believe that's how you say it, Kiorafoto Memory Card Holder, or SD card holder. Now, if you're a film student like me, or a photography student, or you work in that field, you go through a lot of SD cards, and it's always nice to have one of these so you can have them in one location and it's portable. You can take it with you to and fro places. But this one in particular, I've read some things on Amazon and in the comments of some of their videos on YouTube, as well as even in a couple videos about the product. And the main thing that I've been reading is that, excuse me, that it's hard to get your SD cards into the holder because of the rubber silicone interior. They say it's too rough to push your card in and to and then once it's in there and it stays, that when you go to get it out, that it's so deep in there you have to literally pry your nail in to get it out, and that people have actually stripped their cards because when they go to get it out, they end up accidentally ripping this in half, their card in half, I should say. I've even heard a couple stories that the rubber itself stripped their card, and things about the micro SD card holder. So I just wanted to go over a couple methods that I found helpful within holding your cards in this case. So then you don't really have to worry about your cards getting stripped or anything of that nature. So before I get into that, the reason that a lot of people buy this case that I've noticed, and the reason I bought it too, is because it's waterproof. It's durable in really bad conditions. It can take some damage. Like there's videos of people running this over with a car, and it stays safe. And even on the box, it says it's durable from a car running it over. But the main complaint that I've seen a lot with this case, especially on the reviews on Amazon and everywhere else, is that the rubber is too tough, and that it's hard to get your cards in, and that some cards don't even fit in this case. And that when they try to get their cards out, that they end up stripping the card, trying to pry away at it so then they can pull their card out. So first things first, before I get, there is a card missing, but that's the card I'm recording this video with. But the one thing that I want to get into first, before I give you the method of how I get my cards in and out, is this rubber, when it comes out the box, is very tough. And that's for a good reason, because it's supposed to hold your cards snug. And just like any other material, it takes time to break in. So you will notice that it will be hard for you to get your cards in and out of your case because, well, rubber and material like this takes time to break in. I mean, that's just the nature of it. And I've noticed that the more I started carrying my cards in this case, the easier it's become to get them in and out of the case and whatnot. And it does hold really nicely. I have no complaints really about this case whatsoever. I mean, I've dropped this before. I know it's you're probably looking at it like, well, why aren't there any scratches? But believe it or not, I've dropped it. I did the water test with it, and all my cards still work. They stay in place, and I really like it. Now, the other thing I've noticed with people with the SD cards is they're like, why can't I get my card out the next time I go to shoot? Well, as you can see, I have my cards positioned in an area to where I can get my card, to where I can get easy access to them, and I don't have to worry about having to pry away too much at them. Like here, I'll give you an example. So like if you go to like take the card out, I know I don't have long fingernails, and if you're like me, that's where it gets challenging. It doesn't really take a whole lot to get the card out. But here's the thing that I've been seeing a lot of people do is, and I've seen it on YouTube videos and I hear it from people online, is when they put their card in, they try and force it all the way down because the way that, well, sometimes it's pictured is that it's supposed to go down into the slot all the way. Now, I get it. I really do. I really get why you would do that, because it holds your card more snug, and it seems like the more natural thing to do, especially when you put it in and then you push it. A lot of people, what they try and do is they push their card all the way in to the casing, so it's now snug and it's pushed all the way down in there. And like, in order to get it out, you do have to get a lot of force into it, and you do have to use your fingernails, and you do have to use like paper clips and other things to get the card out. And with that, you do risk stripping your card, because then you have to apply more force to it to get it up, and then your card strips. So I found a relatively easy method to carry my SD cards. I'm sure, as you can see, my cards are not in all the way. They're just in snug enough to where the rubber is almost like just hugging it. I think, as you can see, it's not pushed down all the way, and it's not, it's not in any danger of getting stripped. Because also the farther down you force your card, the more you risk damaging your card. So I'm going to show you a method that really helps, and that really doesn't make your card strip. So here we go. Okay, so the method I use is, like I was saying, you want to get your card to just hug the outside of the rim. You don't want to force it all the way down. You don't want to push it all the way down. You do that, and then you're going to have problems getting it out the next time. So the way you do it is you want to try and line your card up with the outer interior. So you want to try and line it up, and then what you want to do is just slowly push it into place. You can put a little force on it. You're not going to hurt your card, but you just want to put just a little bit of force. That way, it's just being hugged by the outside. Sometimes it might look like it's at a slant, but that's not gonna hurt the card. And it stays snug. So then, if you're transporting it and it won't fall out. Now, I didn't shake it very hard to the point where they could fall out, but if you are on like a bumpy road or something, they still likely won't fall out. And then it's easier to pull your card out again. Look at that. Look at that. Like a G. Your card comes out and then it goes back in. Now, if you have a hard time lining it up, like maybe you just bought it, like you recently just, bought the case, here's another method you can use. Also, if you're grabbing it by the top, be very careful and just barely move it out, because if you get in there hard and you scratch it, you're going to mess this up, and then your card's going to be unreadable. I know I shouldn't be doing it, but I do occasionally do that. But if you are going to do that, just be warned not to scratch this up. My advice would actually be just grab it from the bottom, and that's the other reason why I just use the hugging method instead of forcing the card all the way in, is so then I can just literally instantly lift it up. And it's that easy. The other method you can use, sorry I got sidetracked, but is you can take the card and you can line it up at the bottom, here and here. You line it up, and then you just force it back, just like we were doing. And like I said, your cards can take a little bit of force, so you can give it a little bit of firm push, but don't be too firm with it. Don't, or else you're going to push it all the way in, or worse, destroy your card. Now, some of you see that I have cards with micro SD adapters, so I'm sure you're wondering about how do you get the micro SDs in. Well, let's check that out. Now, with these, you have to be a little more careful. These ones are the ones I usually grab from the top, because if you grab from the bottom and you pull up on the actual adapter area, you're gonna rip the card right open. So I usually just barely pry, or if you have to, get like a, what do you call it? Get a paper clip and you can get around the outside. Micro SDs I usually try to be not to carry in this case, but sometimes I have to, because, well, what are you gonna do? Ah, there we go. We got it. So the micro SD card is sitting underneath, and I'm sure, as you can see, it's resting pretty well in there. And a lot of people, again, when it comes to the micro SD card, they want to force it in there again. they want to do this and then push it down in there. The way that I like to do it, especially when it's one shaped, let me see if you can see that, like that. And look at the way that it's put in here. In some of the cases, it's the other way around. It's upside down. And this end is here, and this end is here, and then your card has to go in this way. It just depends. But the way I do it usually is I put the front end in first. I don't know how well you guys can see it. I put the front end in first, like so, and then I just push down on the back like that. And there you go. Your micro SD is pretty snug. You take your SD card and you put it there. Now, in some cases, actually, I actually just carry the micro SD in the adapter in the card. It's not going to hurt it. It's not going to do anything. This is just more convenient. So, like, if you have more, this is mostly for like if you have more SD cards, you're not taking up as much room, because then you can put the micros underneath, and then you can have this guy up front. But then again, like I said, I don't like prying from the back, because you do risk messing this up, and yeah, it's really just not cool. But other than that, I mean, if you want to carry your cards like that, that's fine. That's all you. So, and then you would just put the card back in like so. Oh shoot, I already messed it up. There we go. There we go, like that. So I hope this video helped you guys. I hope it helped you with any problems you might have with the Kiorafoto SD card holder, or memory card holder as it's called online. If you guys have any more questions, please feel free to leave some comments, and I will try and get back to them as soon as I can with everything going on with school. But yeah, this is a great case. I highly recommend it. If you're out in the market, just remember these couple things if you get frustrated with trying to get your cards in. I know this was a long video, but I feel that this just really will help people out there who want to buy a case, and especially this case, and be able to access their cards with ease. So I hope this video is helpful. This has been JC Modern Warfare. Peace out.